So I want to talk through that because something that changed my life that happened about 7 years ago was when me and my wife decided that we need to sit down and write a life plan. That life plan. So because at the time, we liked our life, but we didn't really know where it was going. We were kind of flying by the seat of our pants. I had an amazing job, but we were living paycheck to paycheck. We're like, hey, what happened? We're starting to have kids. What happens 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And someone who is, I come from my business background. You have to write plans basically every year, every quarter, every month. So I'm like, hey, why don't I take those same skills and apply them to our life? So anyways, on one sheet of paper in our backyard in Bozeman, Montana, we wrote a life plan that spanned from, physical health, mental health, relationships, finances, recreation, and on down the line, all the different areas of life. A lot of people, when they write this stuff, they focus on finances, but that's just one chunk of the pie. Your life is far deeper than that. So on one piece of paper, we wrote plans for all those things for, I think it was 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, and 1 year. And what happened was we were able then to use that as a lens for whatever the big decisions we were making. And actually what ended up happening is me leaving my job at Sitka Gear and moving the family back to Oregon, and starting a whole new professional life. Not an easy process. The only reason I had strength to do that is because I knew what the long-term vision was. So I knew that there was going to have to be short-term sacrifices to get there. So ever since then, I try to set yearly goals that fit within that larger picture. Now that larger picture changes or morphs slightly here and there, but for the most part, it's just making sure that I'm walking in the general direction that I want to be walking in. So for 2023, I'm just going to go through them with you guys. So again, I posted this on my Instagram. You can go check it out. So professionally, the goals that I set for 2023 is to grow each of my companies by 50% or more. Now, when I posted that, I got a message that says, that's not healthy. You're a bad family man. You're a bad person, blah, blah, blah. And I had to let the gentleman know that my companies are startups mostly. None of them are very mature. So 50% for a startup it's good, but it's not like you're trying to grow a company 50% that's been around for 20 years. That's different. Wouldn't recommend that. My companies, which I guess there's a few of them, I'm hoping to continue the trajectory that they've been on, which is about 50% plus or minus. I want to release at least 60 podcasts, which shouldn't be a problem, especially now that I'm doing these journals every week. I'm doing about 2 a week. And I'm falling into a pretty good cadence with those. I want to monetize YouTube, which actually isn't that easy, believe it or not. You have to monetize YouTube. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, and then you can monetize. I'm creeping up on the 4,000 hours of watch time with my new channel, and I'm on track to hit 1,000 subscribers this year. By the way, subscribe, help me out. But it's just a process. It's a brand new channel. We will get there. My plan is to release at least 6 new songs. I've already released 1. I got 1 more coming out probably next month, and then I'll have 4 more after that. So I'm going to go back to Nashville, record some new music, which would be exciting. So that's my professional goals. And the idea of this is if I accomplish those things, I will feel like I earned it, right? And you want them to feel a little bit out of reach. You don't want them to feel comfortable. And all those goals are those are stretches. So, all right. So now physical health, or just health altogether. As we've talked about before, I'm doing no alcohol for the year. My goal is to exercise 5 to 7 days a week. And that's not just walking or hitting my steps. That's actually a planned, exercise 30 minutes to an hour, 5 to 7 days a week. And I do a mix of cardio and, sort of hit workouts and weights. I'm on the Mountain Tough wagon right now, using their app to do their minimal daily exercises. So that's pretty great. And I'm also doing jujitsu. So some mix of cardio, Mountain Tough, jujitsu is sort of my routine right now. And I've been hitting this no problem. I'm trying to make sure that I sleep on a schedule. My body, for some reason or the other, needs a lot of sleep. I go to bed at 9 o'clock at night, and I usually get up at about 6. And even if I go to bed at 10, I feel tired the next day. So That's just the way I'm wired. So I'm trying to stay pretty consistent on my sleep. I'm trying to eat clean and whole foods, organic as much as possible, which I am doing very well. I ate a lot of meat, a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit. So that's been going well for me. I feel great. I also take my vitamins every day without fail, which helps me a lot. It seems like I get sick less too. I'm trying to read 2 books a month, which, to be honest with you, I did great in January. I've been a little bit lackluster the last couple weeks because the book I was reading this week kind of bored me. So I'm going to switch. I'm not going to say what book it was. But I'm going to get back on track there. Okay, so that's my health. No alcohol, exercise, sleep, eat clean, read more, period. All right, so financial, which is important, but not everything. Remember that. My wife and I are to the point where we want to start putting more into our kids' beginning of life fund. I'm purposely not saying college fund because they don't have to go to college if they don't want to. In fact, college is becoming less and less valuable. If they do want to go to college, they can use it for that. It's more of like a small diving board or a launch pad. It won't be a terrible amount because they're going to have to work, but it'll be enough to where they can comfortably transition into that portion of their life. And it's kind of our send off, which I'm not looking forward to. This is really sad to talk about. We're going to be hiring a financial advisor, which will be fairly new to us. We've been winging it, so that's not good. And then I want to make one fairly substantial risky investment this year. And what that is, I can talk about maybe later, but I'm going to keep it private for now. But I'm going to be doing that because I think you got to have a diversified portfolio financially. You got to have some risky investments and you got to have some safe investments. And we have a mix of both. And all right. Lastly, on the relationship side, I really want to try to do more date nights with my wife for obvious reasons. She's a full-time teacher. I'm a full-time, entrepreneur, kind of have crazy schedules. I travel a lot. And, right now we're probably on a once every other month date schedule, which is pretty bad to stay connected to your partner. Pretty important to be connected. Oftentimes the only time we see each other is when we're like passing each other in the house, cooking dinner, doing laundry, wrangling kids. And I want to try to do better than that. And so I'm trying to take that on my shoulders. On a lighter note, I want to play with my kids more. I've noticed over the years that sometimes I get so caught up doing all the things I'm doing. My kids will be out there throwing a ball without me or, shooting their bows without me, or my daughter's into skateboarding. She wants me to skateboard. So my goal is to play more with them. So how am I doing that? I'm making sure that I proactively try to get involved with what they're into. So like my daughter's into skateboarding. Should I be skateboarding? Probably not, folks. I used to, but I'm 42. I shouldn't be skateboarding. So what did I do? I bought a longboard because a longboard I'm most likely not going to wreck on or try a kickflip. So my longboard gets here today and my daughter's so stoked to skateboard with me, and I am too. It's going to be super fun. Or like with my boys, one of my boys loves shooting bows, so that's not hard to talk me into. But my other boy loves throwing a football, which I was never a football player. I suck at football, but I've been learning how to throw a spiral, and I try to do that with them at least once a day. It's really important. And I've had my faults with that. I admit it. So those are my goals for 2023. And I'm going to do them. There's no choice. I have now podcasted them. I've posted them, and I'm going to hold myself accountable to them, and I will let you know if I fall short. So, if you haven't done it yet, some people say goals are bullshit, New Year's resolutions, whatever you want to call them. I don't think they're bullshit. I only think they're bullshit if you don't do them. So if you're going to say you're going to do it, you should follow through, because what happens, and it doesn't matter what other people think, but if you let yourself down from something that you commit to and you don't, you break a promise to yourself, that's way worse than letting other people down. Like the shame of that, it. So I've had to really work on this, but like trying to be disciplined enough to not break promises to yourself, I found to be pretty, it's like the ultimate gift. I don't know, or maybe that's the wrong word, but it just feels so good when you keep a promise to yourself. Because if you can keep a promise to yourself, you can keep a promise to somebody else. So highly recommend goals. Also, if you don't want to do them, that's your prerogative. I have to have them because I have to know which direction I'm pointed.